through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One more, yarn over into that next bit, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our cluster of 1 chain 3 and 3 double crochet stitches, making that cluster. So next, I'm going to attach these 2 edges together and then do 1 more cluster right on top. So to do that attachment, remember we're just slip stitching. So I'm going to find that top loop here, that top chains of 3. I'm going to grab the yarn, pull it through, turn, and do a slip stitch. And then same as the last one, I'm going to do my cluster of stitches. So I'm going to start with a chain 3. From here, I'm going to grab the yarn, go underneath there, grab the yarn, pull through, and I'm going to do some double crochets. I'm going to do my first double crochet. For my second one, remember, yarn over, go under that chain, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We got 1 more, so yarn over, under that chain, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that is our third one so far. And you'll notice that it almost looks like a little staircase. So our third row has 3 stairs going up, and our next row is going to have 4 stairs and 5 stairs. And as we continue, it's going to be a lot easier with this cluster pattern continuing on. Do a 4th and a 5th row. So the 4th, we're going to flip it over. And then remember, we always have to start with that chain 6, unfortunately. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From here, we're going to skip the first 3 and go into that 4th. Remember, this creates kind of that chain 3 effect. So we're skipping those first 3. We're going to do our double crochet into the 4th one. So yarn over, go into that space, grab the yarn, pull it through, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We got 2 more stitches. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, last one, yarn over into the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now from here, what we're going to be doing is we've got our 4th row that's got 4 clusters. So we're going to continue doing that same pattern where we attach and then work up the staircase. So there's going to be 3 more going up our staircase. So remember, to attach, what we're going to do is this one is sideways, right? So I'm going to go to the very top where this little chain 3 is. I'm going to slide my hook under that, grab the yarn, pull it through, and we're going to do a slip stitch by turning and pulling through the stitch on the right side. That anchors it in nicely. From here, we're going to do our cluster. So we're going to do a chain 3. This is normally how we do the cluster. It's only the first one on the row that you've got to do that chain 6, because you're kind of expanding into space that has not been created yet. But all the other ones are the same, where we attach these guys together. We do a chain 3 and then do 3 double crochets. So yarn over, under that chain, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That's one. We got 2 more. One more double crochet. Okay, we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to anchor it to this, to this guy here. So we're going to go under that chain at the top, grab the yarn, pull through. We're going to turn and do a slip stitch. We're going to do another cluster, right? We got 2 more clusters. So remember, clusters normally are just a chain 3. And then 3 double crochets all in that same little chain. And at this point, I'm not really going through the double crochets quite as slowly, just for the sake of time. Feel free to pause if you want to slow it down a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna continue attach. Okay, so find that little top chain there, grab the yarn, pull through, turn your hook and pull to do a little slip stitch. And we're going to do our last cluster. So chain 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets all on that same little chain there. Last one. Okay, so far that's our 4th row. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Our 5th row is our last one that we're going to do in antique white before we start bringing in those different colors. So let's do the 5th row just so we can practice again. So remember, when we turn it, we always start with that chain 6. And by now, this one's probably going to be the most straightforward row now that we're going to really start seeing that pattern. So remember, for our chain 6, we're going to count 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first 3 and double crochet, into the 4th one from the hook. The skipping 3 is creating that chain 3 that's normally part of our cluster. And then I've got 2 more double crochets. And last one. Okay, once we've got a cluster, remember, we've got our staircase, we're going to anchor it. So we're going to anchor it by going under that chain, grabbing the yarn, pull through. We're going to anchor it with a slip stitch by turning left one through the right. And then from here, remember, we're going to go up that staircase. And here's our first normal cluster. We're going to do a chain 3. 3 double crochets all on that same chain space. There you go. Okay, and then continuing up, we're going to attach, going under that chain, and attach them together by doing a slip stitch. We don't lose our thread. There's a slip stitch, and then another cluster, so chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So this should start feeling pretty repetitive at this point. This is probably the easiest row at this point because it's doing the same thing more often when you have this many clusters, right? We're on the 5th row, so we're doing 5 clusters. So here's my 3rd double crochet. Right, we're gonna latch on by doing a slip stitch to that top chain. Chain 3. That was 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets into that same chain. Okay, just about there. We're gonna, once again, latch on as we're going up the staircase. So that top chain, grab the yarn, pull through, and then turn in slip stitch to latch on. Chain 3 for our final cluster, and 3 double crochets. I'm just dropping my yarn. Let's try that again. Double crochet 1, double crochet number 2, and double crochet number 3. So this is probably a good place just to stop and recap. So we've done 5 rows so far. Rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each row has however many clusters as the row number, right? A cluster is a chain 3 and then 3 double crochets. and then you attach, and then onto the next one, you kind of keep going up your staircase. You slip stitch on, chain 3, 3 double crochets all the way along. The only difference is that first one, right, where when you start a new row, you flip it and you do your chain 6 and then work your 3 double crochets into those 3 loops. So that's the only part that's a little bit different, and that's because we have to do a chain 6 in order to expand the blanket sideways, because we need to make it longer. All the other ones, as we work vertical, are the same cluster of chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So it's a lot easier once you've gotten to this point. The beginning part is a lot harder because you're switching rows so quickly that you don't really have time to get used to the pattern. Now at this point, we're gonna do our first color change. We are gonna start our rainbow and we're going to begin. You can do it either way if you wanna do purple or pink. The first one's gonna be the shortest, if that helps. So I'm gonna start with pink. And that means my purple is going to be the longest, whereas the pink is going to be the shortest. So it's kind of whichever color you want to see more of. I'm going to snip this yarn, give it a little bit of a tail, so like that much. And then I'm going to do what's called, I'm just going to pull this through and create a little knot. Okay. So from here, I'm on my pink, and I'm going to be doing the same thing as before. But to get started, right here, I'm just going to go under and attach my yarn. I'm pretty low key with this. I just do a little knot to make sure it's super secure. Okay. If you want to knot your white, you can also knot your white. Sometimes I'll even knot them together just to like really solidify that bond that we are attached and we're not going to come undone. Okay. Now from here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to leave these little tails aside and we're just going to go. I like sewing them in at the end for this blanket. So I'm going to go under that stitch. I'm going to grab the yarn, pull through, and I'm going to do a chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Remember, same as before, we're going to skip the first 3, go into the 4th one. We're going to do a double crochet into that 4th chain from the hook. So go into that stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The 3 stitches that we're skipping are serving as that chain 3 for our normal cluster stitch. And then we got 2 more spaces, so 2 more double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, from here, what you are going to do next is you're going to go to that top of that cluster, right? We're going to kind of latch on. So I'm going to grab underneath that chain, grab the yarn, pull under, and slip stitch myself on. Chain 3 to begin my cluster, and then 3 double crochets. Okay, and then what we're going to do from here is we're just going to keep going. So continue going. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Okay, and I will meet you there. Okay, so I have just finished off that row. From here for the pink, what we're going to do is we're going to flip. We're going to do a second row of pink. So I'll start us off just to have that quick reminder. Remember, we're going to do that beginning of chain 6.
Once you've got your chain 6, you're going to skip the first 3 and you're going to double crochet into the 4th, 5th, and 6th chain from the hook. Okay, sorry for speeding that along, just trying to keep it under 15 minutes. And then once you've got it, you're going to latch on and then continue creating those clusters. all along the staircase. So slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. I'll see you at the end.